Hey everybody, welcome to the first episode of Arma Reforger mod reviews. So this is going to be a series where we cover four main areas of mods that are available on the Arma Reforger workshop. So we'll be primarily covering what all the mod consists of and entails, so if there's any special features with the mod or anything that come with it that may not necessarily be apparent from the get-go, we'll cover that. We'll also be covering the quality of the mod, the size of the mod, and the dependencies. So today, as you can probably tell, we're going to be checking out the FN Scar Heavy and Light variants. So this is created by Rano on the Arma Reforger workshop. Again, all mods will always be linked in the description below. So feel free to click to that link. It'll take you right to the mod. We'll kind of cover the details of the size and everything towards the end of this video. So what I'm currently carrying right now is the black variant of the 7.62. So this would be the longer barrel, heavy hitting Scar. So let's go ahead and take a walk over to one of the arsenals here, and we'll be using the Bacon loadout editor. And if you haven't used this before, I highly recommend you incorporate in your server. So you can access these weapons through the basic arsenal, so it's perfectly accessible in both. They are available in the US, Russian, or other modded faction arsenals, so that's pretty neat. And usually they're always grouped together like this. They may not necessarily be on the bottom of the weapons list for you, depending on what other mods you're running. So again, the mod or the weapon that I'm currently running here is the black variant of the Scar H, so that's the 7.62 variant. There is also the tan variant, and then again there is a black 5.56 variant, so these are the L's, and a tan version of that as well. And then we have the CQC versions, which were fairly recently added by Rano. So we have two tan versions. We have the 7.62 CQC version and the 5.56 CQC version. So the colors really don't have a difference in terms of sound profile and stuff. It's really just preference. I personally gravitate towards the black weapons themselves. And so before we kind of jump into the attachments and stuff for it, I just want to start with the weapon itself. So we'll go ahead and equip it here, and I've already got magazines in my inventory, so let's go ahead and give it a quick overlook here. And full disclosure, this is probably one of my favorite mods in the workshop. I'm a big fan of the Scar, and Ronald did a fantastic job here. As you can see, it's extremely well detailed from the stock to the details, the logos. You can also interact with multiple areas of the gun, so you can change the fire mode, which actually does, as you can see, turn the knob. You can also toggle the safety. It'll flick it to safety. We'll keep it in a single fire here. Of course, you can always detach your magazines, swap it out with another one. They do have tan and black magazines, so if you're running the sand tan look, you can swap either or, so it's just a color match. You can also interact with the end of the barrel because it will come with the flash hider, but you can attach various attachments at the end that entail suppressors and so on. Same thing for the foregrip. The only thing that I can see that is not the best model is a hand is clipping through the gun, which honestly, to me, it really doesn't bother me as much. On this side, you don't even notice it, but honestly, when you're going through a firefight and stuff, or if you're going down first person, you're really not going to notice that clipping. So one of the pretty neat things is this does have flippable sights, so you can raise the sights, and if you are a person who likes to use iron sights, they are fully functional and you can zero them. So I'm going to point out here in the distance, and it's zeroed at 100. As you see, I'm going to go all the way down to 600. You can see that the gun is actually moving up and down, or in this case it's really the sights that are moving, right, not the gun. And so yes, that is fully functional for the iron sights themselves, which is pretty cool. I personally don't rock iron sights as much, but honestly the visibility and clarity through these is pretty good. And if you've ever shot through a Scar in any other video game, it's pretty much the same. So we'll go ahead and jump into the sound profile here for the Scar, so I'll just fire this off, and man, don't you just wish you were at a firing range that just looked like this in real life. This game, honestly, Sunset Sunrise, probably the most beautiful it's ever, honestly, of all games. It's got to be top 5 for me. So let's go ahead and fire a couple single shots out here in the distance. Okay, empty magazine. You can hear the trigger, so we'll do the reload now. So you can see that animation is very well detailed. So what I'm going to do now is just fire it so you can see it cycling. As you can see, there is bullet ejection that's modeled in as well. So again, these animations are great. Let's go ahead and just empty this mag. As you can see, it stays back like it's supposed to. Can even look through here. Pretty darn neat. I gotta say, those animations are awesome. So again, we'll do a reload just one more time. There we go. And so now let's do a full auto. And we'll do a full auto on the side. I gotta say, the sound profile on this thing, it's just butter. Alright, cool. So that's the 7.6.2 variant. Before we jump into the 5.5.6 variants, let me go ahead and show you some of the attachments that come with this weapon. Again, this mod is not just the weapon itself, it actually does come with different foregrips. So you can see you've got like mag pulls, Daniel defense. We'll quickly go through the top here. So you got the tan, mag pulls, black mag pull, the Fortis shift. So we'll leave it on the mag pull for right now. And if you have RHS in here, you can attach the PEC9. I'll show you the variant that I run actually in-game on our server. But you can attach a flashlight, PEC9, rangefinder, etc. These rails are fully functional. In terms of the optic, you can do the exact same thing. You put any of the optics on this rail from any arsenal, they all fit. But what you want to do right now is go through the suppressors. So you've got quite a few different suppressors you can pick from here. You got AAC, Daniel Defense, the SIG, the KAC, TBA Ultra. And I did test this. I'm not going to bore you with that. They do not change the actual sound profile between the suppressors. The suppressors themselves do work. The AI do not detect them, so they do work correctly. And it does change the actual sound profile of the gun, which I'll show you here. But between these suppressors themselves, there's no difference. So let's go ahead and whip it out suppressed. So we'll go ahead and single shot out in the distance. Switch to full auto. So yeah, much quieter and easier on the ears. So that's the 7.6.2 variant. I think we've covered that pretty well. Let's go ahead and switch over to the 5.5.6 variant. And since I had the black 7.6.2, let's go ahead and use the tan one for a change here. So one thing is I don't have ammo here, so we'll pick up some mags. And so with the 5.5.6 variant, it's pretty similar in detail to the 7.6.2. Again, you have the weird hand clipping issue, which honestly is not an issue to me personally. Again, changing the fire modes works. You can also flip the sights. You can see the other side here as well. And so we'll go ahead and fire this single shot unsuppressed for audio. Fully auto. And again, we'll do a hip fire so you can see the ejection. Do a reload. So that is the 5.5.6 variant. So we'll quickly switch here to see what the attachments are for the 5.5.6. So again, same rail setup, same everything. You do have, I believe, one additional, it looks like, under attachment here you can use. And then for suppressors, the 5.5.6 variants have a lot more. So you have more suppressors as well as different flash hiders. Again, the sound profile will be the same in terms of the suppressors. So let's go ahead and shoot it suppressed. Beautiful. Alright, switching over to our CQC variants. So, but we'll do this a little bit different here. I do want to cover the attachments. Again, they're going to be the same as a 7.6.2 here. So, as in the 7.6.2 SCAR, this is still a 7.6.2, this is just the CQC. So I will say this thing is much shorter, also still really well detailed. So you can see these are only available in tan, no black. And so you can see the sound profile is the same, but if you notice, look how much kick there is. So as you would imagine, shortening the barrel on your SCAR is going to change your recoil pattern. So that is also modeled correctly, which is pretty nice. And let's run back over here. We'll grab the 5.56 variant. And again, detailed as always. We'll go ahead and flip our sights here. I don't like shooting it with no sights, at least. So again, as you can tell, there's definitely a lot more kick with the CQC variants. But I'd say it's pretty manageable, honestly, in a CQC environment. As you're kind of going through between doors and clearing, this is perfectly manageable. This is perfectly manageable. Alright, so let's go ahead and figure out what the damage profiles look like here. So we'll go ahead and place down some AI, and let's see how effective these weapons are on the AI themselves. Alright, so we're back here in the arsenal. I'm currently in the RHS USAF arsenal, and the reason I brought you along here is because I do want to show you that you can add attachments. So again, the PEC 15. I'm going to go ahead and quickly build out the normal loadout that I use in server. So like usually right left where I'll have like a flashlight along with the PEC 19, top rail, sorry, the optic. I tend to gravitate towards the SUs with the MRDS. So again, running the black ones, tan if I was running tan. And honestly, that's pretty much the same, the loadout that I run here. I usually do run a suppressor, and again, what's pretty neat is the suppressors in here will work. I don't actually run that specific suppressor. This is just being nitpicky here. But again, this is all just aesthetics, right? I normally run something like the Daniel Defense or something, because, or the AAC. Between those two, the other ones I'm just not privy to. It's just personal preference there. But yeah, as you can see with attachments, the attachments do line up on the gun perfectly. Same with the scopes. You do need to keep in mind, if you keep your sights raised and you do look through, like any scope, if it was a sniper scope or whatever, you will notice that the iron sights will get in the way. So if that does happen, it's not a bug. You just probably forgot to fold your sights. So you can see right here, we got a clear sight line. So I've got a couple normal targets down there. We're just going to go ahead and skip that and start using some real AI. So I'm going to go ahead and place those down. Again, this is the 7.62 variant that we're going to start with. This is pretty far. I'll go ahead and get a rangefinder so we can figure out the exact distance here. And this thing should honestly punch them down pretty easy. Alright, so let's do some damage testing here. We've got 3 AIs set down. Let's take the vector and range them out. Looks like 186 meters. We got 2 guys over here at 178. So just shy under 200 meters. Not too bad. This is something you could expect to easily do with the SCAR. So I'm going to keep this in single fire. Go ahead and use the scope. And I'll try to vary the shots. So it's not just headshots, because obviously headshots with any weapon are going to kill. That one's going to be a headshot. That's going to be a body shot. And you can see the suppressor does work, so he's not alarmed. Let's shoot a little low here. Family Jewels. That's 2-tap in the Family Jewels, which personally would have taken me out in the first, but you can see he's still alive. When the AI does that, they are still alive. Go ahead and double tap, now he's down. So yeah, the 7.62, that's honestly God's round as intended. It will do damage and put the enemy down. So let's go ahead and switch to the 5.56 variant. We'll do the same exact test and see how that performs. At this range, I think it should be fine, though it would be probably better suited for a shorter range. Oh, looks like we got a straggler that's coming running up. I don't know where he came from, but I guess he saw his friend get shot in the jewels. But he won't be running anymore anytime soon. So yeah, let's switch to the 5.56. Alright, so we switched over to the 5.56 variant here. I didn't put on any side attachments. We are going to run suppressed here. We've also got the same SU-230 scope. And so we got our 3 Spec Ops Russian dudes down there. And we'll see how this thing performs again. We're going to do it single shot. So that seems like a plate. 2 plates. That looks like head. His buddies haven't noticed. So he should have been wounded, but he might have taken in the plate. Well, that'll put him down. So again, trying to vary shots here without just doing headshots or something. As I shoot him in the like jugular. Alright, this buddy's still up. He got up quick. So you can see, well, after he got lobotomized, you can see 5.56. They're definitely all getting up, so it's wounding them at this range. So less effective. You are going to deal with less recoil and a lot bigger mag, but again, you're not gonna have that stopping power like 7.62. And man, this guy is just. I guess I'm just bad. Well, I dumped the whole mag and missed. I feel like you should live. Anyway, you get the gist. Alright, so this is the 7.62 CQC variant. We'll just use it to quickly scan through this house here and see how she does. So this is somewhere you would probably end up using this type of layout. Oh yes, Arma with leaning. My favorite. Thought I had one more in here. Yeah, they're not getting up. Let's switch to the 5.56. Alright, so we've got the 5.56 variant. Again, it's going to run unsuppressed, just because why not? We'll do the exact same setup here. Gonna switch to full auto, because again, why not? So apart from the awful shooting there, it looks like we got one KIA, another KIA, and surprisingly not a KIA, probably due to my own aiming abilities there. But that works. Alright, so we're at the actual Arma Reforger workshop link here, and so I know I might get some comments below because you see the PS5 logo and you're probably wondering, can I get this mod on PS5? Unfortunately, no you cannot because of Sony, but that is a long-winded kind of discussion point there, but short answer is no. At this time, there is no mod support for Sony. This is only restricted to Xbox and PC. That being said, we're at the actual mod link. This will be in the description below. This is, again, the FN Scar Heavy and Light by Rano. So let's go ahead and go through our 4 main areas. So what all does the mod consist of and entail? Again, you've got 2 7.62 variants, 2 5.56 variants, both in tan and in black. You also have 2 tan variants of the CQC versions of the 5.56 and 7.62. You've got different suppressors, foregrips, muzzle hiders, and such. You've got flippable sights. The animations are pretty solid except for that one clipping issue. And so that goes and dovetails into our second point here, which is the quality of the mod. And so I would say overall, I would give this mod like 4.5 stars. If we really want to be picky moving forward, like a 5-star has to have everything perfect, including animations, reloads, etc., damage, whatever. So we're going to put this at 4.5, which again is really high. The size of the mod is 130.78 megabytes, which all things considered in the Arma sphere, or especially in Arma Reforger, I'm going to go ahead and give that 5 stars. And we're kind of going to look at this as like size for buck type of deal. So what do you get at the size? Because honestly, there is a lot of mods out there that we'll cover in the future that are really large, but you don't get a lot of value out of it. So in this case, I honestly think you get a lot for that size. And then this mod does not have any dependencies, which the less dependencies you have, the better. And so if you're not familiar with what dependencies are essentially when a mod depends on other mods as it's constructed in the Arma tools. And so if you load it on the server, you have to have those dependencies so that this mod can function. So no dependencies is always kind of like the best way to go, because if you have dependencies, you might get, like in this case, 130.78 megabyte mod that ends up bloating up to a gig because it requires so many other mods that you might not even want on your server. So again, we'll give it 5 stars in the dependency department. So That's all I've got for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed the review on the Scar H and Scar L. Again, this is one of my personal favorites, so if you enjoyed the mod, again, the description for the mod is down below. Feel free to add it to your server and experience it for yourself. I'll catch you guys next time.